kids moved in Monday.
Oh, you like it so far?
Mm-hmm. Everybody's been real nice.
Well, that's because you have big jugs.
You might remember the film Liar Liar as a hilarious Jim Carrey classic, but behind the scenes, it was pure chaos. From wild improvs and on-set injuries to real-life inspiration and frantic last-minute rewrites, the story of how this film came together is full of surprises. These 20 little-known facts pull back the curtain on a comedy that didn't just make audiences laugh. It redefined Jim Carrey's career at the height of his fame. Number 1. Jim Carrey said no. Can you imagine a world where Jim Carrey wasn't Fletcher Reed? It almost happened. The role was originally offered to Steve Martin, but he had to turn it down due to scheduling conflicts with another film. That opened the door for Carrey's iconic performance, but even he wasn't sold at first. He felt the script lacked emotional depth. What changed his mind? A key rewrite, adding the heartfelt father-son storyline. That touch of sweetness made all the difference, and we're all better off for it. Because beyond the over-the-top comedy, it's the love between Max and Fletcher that gives Liar Liar its heart. So next time you're cracking up at a courtroom scene, remember, it almost didn't happen this way. No emotional arc, and no Jim Carrey. There's another major script change coming up at number 12, and it's just as legendary. Comment below with your guess. Which scene do you think it is? Number 2. An investment that paid off. Ready for this jaw-dropper? For a movie that had a $45 million budget, Jim Carrey was paid $20 million. That's right. Almost half went to the lead actor alone. This shattered records in 1997. Was the investment worth it? We think so. Nobody could have delivered Fletcher's rapid-fire courtroom rants like Jim Carrey. And Universal knew it. They didn't see it as a gamble. They saw it as a strategic move, and it paid off. Big time. The kind of big that racks up $300 million at the box office. Carrey had already struck gold with Ace Ventura, The Mask, and Dumb and Dumber. And Universal were banking on that momentum to carry Liar Liar to the top. And it did. Number 3. A Kid's Wish. Did you know the film's core idea was actually inspired by real life? Co-writer Paul Guay revealed that it all started with something simple: how kids often wish their parents would just stop lying. That innocent thought sparked the original pitch. What if a lawyer, known for bending the truth, suddenly couldn't lie for 24 hours, all because of his son's birthday wish? The concept shares DNA with the 1988 film Big, where a single magical wish turns a child's world upside down and ultimately helps an adult rediscover what truly matters. That same blend of fantasy and heart gave Liar Liar its magic. One small wish led to one of Jim Carrey's wildest, most beloved performances, turning a child's hope into a full-blown Hollywood hit. Number 4. The iconic improvisation. One of the most quoted and hardest to watch scenes in 90s comedy was totally improvised. The setup was simple. Fletcher needs to delay the court hearing, but he can't lie. So Carrey, being Carrey, goes full chaos mode. From slamming his head into a toilet to screaming in pain. It all looked so real. Some crew members thought he was actually injured. And that iconic line, "I'm kicking my ass, do you mind?" Pure Carrey. If that's not dedication, what is? But, to nobody's surprise, the scene did result in countless injuries. Carrey went down so hard while throwing himself against mirrors, walls, and sinks. He bruised his shoulder and cracked his rib. Even when the director practically begged him to slow down, Carrey insisted on doing it by himself. No stunt doubles, just him and a lot of rough, hard surfaces that are bound to make a mess. Apparently, Carrey believed in going big or going to the ER, and he did both at the same time. Number 5. The director who let Carrey be Carrey. Director Tom Shadyac wasn't new to Jim Carrey's brand of madness. He had already worked with him on Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, the film that turned Carrey into a global star. So by the time Liar Liar came around, their chemistry was locked in. Shadyac knew exactly how to give Carrey space to improvise and push limits, while still keeping the emotional core intact. That perfect balance of chaos and heart, it came from a director who knew how to let Carrey fly, but also when to pull things back. Number 6. Human cartoon. While we're here applauding Carrey's dedication, let's take a moment to appreciate his face. Some of his expressions in Liar Liar are so over the top, you'd swear they were CGI. But nope, that rubber face, all him. From wild-eye twitches to jaw contortions during those courtroom meltdowns. It was pure, unfiltered Carrey. He twisted his face like Play-Doh, earning him the nickname Human Cartoon on set. And really, watching him is like watching a living, breathing Looney Tunes character. Number 7. Filmed in a real courthouse. Instead of building a courtroom set from scratch, the crew went for the real thing. Several scenes were shot in the Superior Court of Los Angeles, and that choice added a whole new level of authenticity. The cold, sterile atmosphere of a real courtroom made Carrey's wild energy pop even more. That contrast, formal surroundings versus total chaos, made everything feel funnier and more believable. Even the natural lighting and acoustics helped ground the comedy in something that felt real. Number 8. Where is Max Reed? One role, one wish, one unforgettable performance, and one child actor who helped give Liar Liar its heart. Max Reed, the adorable 9-year-old whose birthday wish changed everything, was the emotional anchor of the film. Without him, Fletcher's journey wouldn't have hit nearly as hard. The role gave the movie its soul, and gave actor Justin Cooper his moment in the spotlight. But after a handful of TV appearances, Cooper stepped away from acting altogether. Today, he works as a sports commentator and radio producer, leaving behind a one-film legacy that still resonates with fans decades later. Number 9. Quite literally brutal. In yet another only Jim Carrey moment, he didn't flinch from going all in. And, once again, it was real pain. During the courtroom chaos, Carrey used an actual metal stapler to slam his own hand. Most of us assumed it had to be a rubber prop, but nope, he was really stapling himself. Multiple times, he insisted on using the real thing to keep the scene authentic, and his pain tolerance quickly became a running joke on set. If there's one thing about Carrey, it's that he never holds back, especially his devotion to add the brutal in a brutally funny scene. Number 10. Shooting days. How long do you think it took to shoot the entire film? Most Hollywood productions average around 100 days of principal photography, and with all the courtroom chaos and physical stunts in Liar Liar, you'd expect it to take even longer. Right? Wrong. Because Jim Carrey's schedule was in such high demand, the entire film was shot in just 52 days. And somehow, despite the time crunch, every scene still feels completely effortless. Number 11. Why the crew couldn't work properly. Now picture this. Jim Carrey is screaming, "The goddamn pen is blue." His face is contorting in ways that defy gravity, and you're the poor guy trying to keep the camera steady. That was the daily struggle on set. The outtakes were so hysterical, even the crew couldn't hold it together. Production had to pause multiple times because makeup artists, camera operators, even the director, were laughing too hard to keep going. Honestly, Who wouldn't want a workplace like that? Number 12, last-minute fix. If you're still guessing which other scene got rewritten, it's time to make the big reveal. The climactic airport chase. That's right, it wasn't in the original script. But test audiences wanted more than just a heartfelt speech to win back his son. So Universal demanded a brand new ending, and they wanted it fast. The entire airport scene was written and shot in just a few days. A last-minute fix gave us the most emotional, chaotic, and unforgettable climax, and became one of the most iconic scenes in the entire film. Did you guess it right? Number 13, manipulative Samantha Cole. The manipulative and seductive Samantha Cole was played by Jennifer Tilly, who absolutely nailed the role. But behind the scenes, she was nervous. Tilly worried that playing such an over-the-top, sexed-up character might lead to typecasting, both with audiences and future directors. But once she understood the film's tone and the character's potential, she leaned into it completely, and it paid off. Critics praised her for transforming what could have been a one-note, selfish role into something genuinely funny. Her clueless, exaggerated meltdowns, especially in the courtroom, gave the film some of its biggest laughs. It was a bold performance, and one that reminded everyone just how skilled Tilly really is at playing comedic chaos with a wink. Number 14, almost a dark comedy. Believe it or not, Liar Liar's earliest drafts leaned heavily into dark comedy. It focused on Fletcher's toxic behavior and how he destroyed the people around him. It was still funny, but also much more cynical. The tone shifted when Jim Carrey came on board. Fletcher's character was softened, turning toward themes of fatherhood and redemption. Carrey delivered the perfect mix of chaos and sincerity the role demanded. It's proof that the right actor can shape the story just as much as the script itself. Number 15, The Claw Game. One part of the film that touched all our hearts was the claw game between father and son. What's even sweeter is, it wasn't in the script at all. It was, once again, all Jim Carrey and his goofiness on set that brought the game to life. He would play it with Justin Cooper between takes, and the crew loved it so much they quickly added it into the movie. A small, improvised moment that brought unexpected heart to the film. A burst of genuine emotion behind all the madness. Completely unscripted and completely unforgettable. Number 16, impersonating real lawyers. Ever wonder how Carrey managed to be so over-the-top funny, yet still nail the vibe of a real lawyer? It's because he actually studied real attorneys. He was fascinated by how truth and manipulation can exist side by side. So he paid close attention to how lawyers spoke, twisted logic, and charmed people into getting what they wanted. That blend of emotional chaos with a slick, professional edge is what made his performance so believable. You laugh at Fletcher, but you also see the human underneath, and that's what makes it stick. Number 17, where's the sequel? Still holding out hope for a sequel. Hate to break it to you, but it's not happening. After disappointing results with sequels like Ace Ventura, Carrey became cautious. He didn't want to return to a character unless there was something truly new to say. And with Liar Liar, he felt the ending was already perfect. Fletcher realizes his flaws, takes accountability, and begins to change for his son. That's the arc. That's the message. What more is there to add? Do you think he made the right call? Because sometimes the best way to honor a great movie is to let it end. Number 18, The Truth Machine. In its early stages, the writers had a very different idea. Did you know the film was originally called The Truth Machine? Not only was the title different, but so was the plot. There was supposed to be a device that forced people to tell the truth. But when Carrey came on board, the focus shifted to human relationships, and the magical birthday wish took center stage. The new title, Liar, Liar, felt more personal, more playful, and way more memorable. Number 19, a Golden Globe nomination. Nobody expects a courtroom comedy to rake in major awards, but Jim Carrey's performance was so powerful, it earned him a Golden Globe nomination. As a desperate father trying to do right by his son, he delivered a performance layered with real, human emotion, enough to land him a nod for Best Actor in a comedy. Seeing his name alongside legends like Jack Nicholson marked a real turning point, not just for Carrey, but for how comedic performances were viewed. He didn't take home the trophy, but he played the role with such precision and heart, people finally started paying attention. And it paid off, opening the door to more complex roles in films like The Truman Show and Man on the Moon. Number 20, When Liar, Liar outnumbered Titanic. Here's a surprising bit of box office trivia. During one of its opening weekends, Liar, Liar actually outperformed Titanic in certain US markets. At the time, Titanic was dominating theaters across the globe, but Jim Carrey's comedic firepower proved strong enough to steal the spotlight, if only for a moment. It was a clear sign of Carrey's star power in the late 90s, when a courtroom comedy could momentarily compete with one of the biggest blockbusters of all time. You knew he wasn't just making people laugh, he was making history. So there you have it. What insight did you like the most about this classic 90s comedy? Tell us in the comments below what other movies you want to learn more about. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss it.